'69 Beetle chassis. This particular one we're doing today is going to be a stock build. So we're basically rebuilding this chassis, but we're doing it stock. We're gonna do some four-wheel disc brakes in 4-lug. We'll be doing a pro build beam in stock width, stock height, and we'll be doing a lot of different details within the build that make it unique and kind of fun. But now we're gonna go into the condition of this chassis as it was delivered to us. Currently, the steering box, it is a Volkswagen steering box, but it is locked up, and we found that the steering box was actually loose. So we can't turn it, so we have to use a jack to kind of get it into place. So that's probably going to be a no bueno core right there. Everything else looks like it's got factory drums in the front, dual circuit master cylinder, non-disc up front. It seems to be somewhat straight. It does have a factory sway bar on it, and some what looks to be some Bose shocks originals. So these shocks, if I'm doing math right, talking 31 and 22, we're talking 53 years old in those shocks. You need to replace them. But guess what? We're doing that today. So other issues we see, looks like the steering stops here were never adjusted properly at any given time because the stands are bent, which means it overextended. These stands should be perpendicular, 90 degrees to the chassis. Yes, CT, 90 degrees to the chassis. So we got to fix that. We'll remedy that when we do it. The guys and I were talking about how much crap happens to be on the bottom of your foot to get like this. That's like a Sahara dune within the pedal assembly. I can't, like the stop, like the dirt is staying there and helping the stop at the same time. Weird. Roller pedal is bent and broken. We'll get that remedied. Panavs, first glance, don't look terrible, but we're gonna replace them with Wolfsburg West pans. He wants to keep the stock shifter. Comes with an IRS. This is going to probably be a 412 ring pinion with 2 side plates, so it's a good 12-volt core. We can tell that there's going to be a problem here. This wing nut is basically maxed out. This curve probably needs to be a little bit more, but this probably signifies that something in the tunnel is going to be broken loose. But guess what? We're going to catch it. IRS in the rear, which is factory on a 69. Looks like factory shocks are on it, factory drum brakes. The rubber stops are missing, which means it probably went under a load a little too hot. But we'll see what we find. Good, we got a tie wire on the shift coupler. That's good news. Well, the throwout bearing and the clips made it all the way here. That's pretty crazy. Motor mounts or tranny mounts don't look terrible. 12-volt starter. And he only has that's loose. That's no bueno. Very common problem is you're supposed to have 2 nuts here. One to hold the stem isolated within the mechanism here, and one to hold the cable in your line, so that always stays taut. These looks like just the screws here and here are loose, but we'll let them know about that. Looks like the bushing came loose from the pressed insert, so it's not centered anymore. Bump stop, it's broken. Oh Jesus, the bolt is missing. Good eye, good eye, good eye. So he's running some mags. Looks like we're missing a single lug nut there, a single lug nut there. Another oh Jesus. Remember that clutch tube issue we were showing? What we thought maybe would be happening with the clutch cable all adjusted down. Looks like somebody did some a repair here. We're gonna find out what happened after we give this chassis an acid bath. So we do have a little bit of rust here, but the rest of the chassis doesn't look bad. It looks like no cutouts here. So we'll put in our little chassis window there so that we can weld that tube there, but that's going to be a problem area. We'll see what we find. So we're missing one lug nut on each wheel over here. And one, it's not even lug nuts, they're lug bolts. And, okay, so, Jesus Christ. So this wheel calls for a mag lug. This is a tapered, no, this is a radius or a acorn seat, which is like a ball seat, lug bolt. So this is the wrong lug bolt for this wheel. It takes a mag lug, which is kind of has a washer, and the lug nut kind of goes in it and bottoms out on the drum or rotor. So that is no bueno. But guess what? He's made it here. So we're going to remedy all these problems. Come along the journey with us. Grab yourself a tasty beverage, an appetizer. And the pros are going to take this apart and do a little bit different. Not necessarily time-lapse, but a little bit more specific on what it takes to disassemble a late model 69 to 77 Volkswagen Beetle chassis. Come on, let's go!
millimeter?
It's 11 and 17.
We're at the line right now.
Did we do 7/16?
Okay.
Bleeders are 7mm if they're not stripped, and this one's stripped. This was stripped. So we're gonna do what we gotta do.
The line saw has brake fluid in them.
So the bleeders are vice grip size. Be cognizant of the where the cameras are. Not to make it any more difficult than it already is. But there's one behind you. Okay, so we're going to disconnect that. So the battery cable nut should be a 13. What's that, John?
You tell them about the dirt under the pedal?
Yeah. Just trying to understand how dirty of a foot you had to have for so many years, right? Like, I mean, what else could it be? You mean, maybe it's sitting out in the, you know, like it had to be put together, right? You know, like the car had to be put together, but maybe the chassis just sitting in the field. But if it's not, just crazy. Nut holding the starter on is 17mm wrench size.
Normal for the pedal assembly, one of these bolt head.
Nope. Should be 17.
One's a 17.
The other one's got some cake to it, or
No, smaller.
smaller?
Whatever. 14.
So the e-brake was wearing a groove, double the thickness on this side. As you can tell, the dirt, nothing was on that side. So that's not correct.
They came real blue, fine.
17?
No, probably gonna sit. The head size is a 14 on the back.
14?
Yeah.
Woo-wee.
But the
Yeah, 10 millimeter. Okay, yeah, so this is going to be like a Honda, something like that. So this is the, looks like the correct bolt for the pedal assembly, 10 millimeter 1.5 with a 17 millimeter head. This is not. 14 millimeter, you said?
head size, yeah.
14. So this is like a Honda or something cat plated bolt. So you find what you find and you remedy it on the side of the road. This is what you do. Look.
Good?
Yeah.
So they must have had it all.
Oh yeah, look, it's brand new.
And this,
Yeah, all shiny.
aftermarket.
Aftermarket-y. Nice. Wing nut. Should be a 6-shooter though. On a late model car, this is called a Bowden tube, also accelerator Bowden tube. It's gonna be the union between the chassis and the tin on the rear of the motor, so that it doesn't rub on the transmission. With 2 side plates, they make this bolt-on bracket. Some of them, like on the swing axles, would be casted into the side plate. So now these are reproduced. This is the clutch Bowden tube. So it's the bend helps you with that when you start. You need to have the bend here, and they can have various amounts of washers. We usually do 3 or 4. when we do it to create the correct bend. Sometimes on a solid axle, you don't need this, but we still practice it in case the client want to change. All the materials are there to have it solid or rubber mounted should they want to change that up. Yeah, right. Fresh. Original battery cable.
Good thing this.
Tie wire.
Yeah, because it's.
Is it loose?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I just snapped it, but it's still in there.
Let's see. Show me what's going on over here.
I just got the cable, but I checked the.
Oh, grub screw is loose.
Yes.
Crazy.
Sorry.
So that's supposed to be in the center to center the shock. Looks like over time kind of worked its way off center. 17 over here. 17 wrench over there. It's an 8 or a 10. 8 or a 10.
That's not it.
Needs a wrench. Air impact and with a 19 or 3/4. So this is 17 millimeter head bolt. That's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be 19. So what could that be from? We'll find out. Comment in below what you think. A 12 millimeter 1.75 shock bolt. Could be a front end bolt, but that's a 1.5 thread. Figure that one out. That one was Hulk right there.
I'm gonna take them all the way loose.
Yep. Potential span. Brake line wrench. for brake line fittings. What do you call that? What kind of wrench?
I call them line wrenches.
Line wrenches. It's not traditional two-sided end wrenches, right? The 3 sides, so it engages all 3 sides. Shit, it's not 3 sides, 4 sides. Well, technically, if we split it, 5 sides.
Or, oh, it's good. Got it right there.
7/16. He's got it. 7/16.
11. Use that to break the loose.
Ryan making noise over there?
Jared, break this loose?
Huh? You making some noise over there, Brian? You making some noise over there? Great Barry Gibbs.
Pulling that axle out too?
Yep. Yeah. Wow, somebody greased the cable. How about that? Thank you, whoever you are. Grease the cable. That's somewhere, so we're going to replace it. These cables too. Who is this guy? This never happens.
So one of the bolts less and put that in and break it loose.
We'll just take this
Okay.
one off, and then take it out of the assembly. Huh?
Well, it puts up in there. Oh, it's there. No, it's there. It's over there in the box.
Little 6mm long bolts.
Come on. Got that cup on there. You gonna pull?
Yeah, towards you. Nope, towards Parker. Towards him first. Oh.
You break that seal. Just it's hardened up and
yeah, got some rust in it. So factory ground cable, didn't have any star washers or anything, but just had a, kind of looks like a fender washer. Make sure to have a good contact there. Green is bad, so if you have any green on your battery cable, you want to replace it. These tubes, but they're welded down here, so we'll get a wire brush, find out where the welds are here, and then we'll vacuum cut those to take the tubes. So just before it goes out to strip, we'll just cut the pan heads off. It can be on one side or the other. Who's ready to cough? First mod, we're going to straighten these out.
money. that?
It was on an impact.
Okay.
So Joey took it off for getting. Ooh, found a coin.
Yeah, I found it over there too. It looks like it has lots of body seat stuff on there.
Oh, that's for me. You can finish that. try and recreate these tubes for the heater cables, but we're just gonna clean them up and reuse them. So, one little trim. We'll make trim.
These sit on rest too?
Yeah, there's two pieces. So
I can take all the bolts out?
Of the IRS pivot, yes. Lift it up there. So technically the bolts are on backwards, I think.
Just missing. Now keep no hardware, right?
We'll just put it all. So these spring plates, what they call two-sided, two sides. The inner one is resting on the stock. This is under a lot of force. So you want to have safety glasses on. You want to take it really seriously. So you want to hold on as you're taking this stuff off, because it could wing and hit you and smack you, and it's not good. So safety in mind first.
Turn that.
Not supposed to be this way, just for reference. Goes the other way. Comes out. So the outer bushing is round, stepped. stepped for two plates. You want to get a hard, firm grip on this. Take it serious. That one was a little easier, but don't take it for granted that it's going to happen every single time. Underneath, hold on, feel it, under, a lot of juice.
Coming out too?
Yeah, just kind of rattle it, like left and right, up and down. It'll come. Is that how it works? Do a little shave over there. You're good.
Go ahead, Joey.
Sub in. Sub.
I should tag.
Sub. We need some Captain Morgan. My turn? Sub.
Good.
Sub in.
What do you say? Good.
Go. Joey's gonna get the magic tool over there. I must get it out before Joey comes. Go hit it. Tap it.
Don't go through.
Hit it. Oh! I got it. It's me. Teamwork. It's a dream work. All right. We'll flip it. We'll cut them out. You got that side? We want to get one more jack stand. That way we can kind of lean on it and cut it.
Okay.
Just so that,
Okay.
we're just not.
So, yeah.
So it doesn't rock. So we'll just do them like right here on both sides. So I gotta pick up with that side. Go all the way up. Touch it or no?
I'm not.
I'm touching.
Maybe it's smaller jack.
Go all the way up there. Okay. So next we're actually going to cut in this seam all the way down here and take that off. So this whole panel will come off. The same thing on that side.
Yep.
So it'll come out cleaner.
It's every part of the.
Diablo blade on a Milwaukee Sawzall. Put it underneath that side. Doesn't look terrible. Looks like he didn't hit anything too much there. Pretty clean. Got a couple of dings and dents in here. Some major lift points in its life, probably with jacking it up or forklift or something here, but we'll see what we can do to remedy that. Very unique to this car, or to this chassis model, is these legs. It's kind of like a reinforcement leg. Usually the Carmageas have this little reinforcement leg. If you have it on yours, this is a 69 model, so I don't recall this leg being like this on Beetles, but if you have it, comment down below, let me know. Ow, that's sharp. That's a little puss right there being, see if you have that. Comment down below if you have that on your chassis. Frame horns look good. Chassis there looks good. Everything looks good. Just a dent there we'll have to fix. Then we'll figure out what we have in there after it comes back from strip. Alright. See you at strip.